Hi there, I'm Richard Lush, reporting for cadred.org. I am sat in the dark and dingy sort of cloakroom area of the Meltdown Bar. And on my right, you'll just have to take my word for it, maybe it's a little bit dark, it is the mighty, the legendary cArn, 1.6 legend, kind of a CSGO legend recently.
I wouldn't say that. No. Definitely not.
And, of course, sort of a general manager within the fnatic organisation. Let's start at the beginning. What I want to talk to you about predominantly is just recently you actually played in this show match, the fnatic versus Na'Vi show match.
That's right.
You look to be very much enjoying yourself. What was it like to sort of be competing again? Because last time we talked, you were saying how hard it was to be stood behind a team, cheering them on when you just wanted to be on the server.
Should I hold it? Yeah.
If you want to, yeah. Go.
Yeah, I hold it. It was actually a really exciting time to play with my former friends, teammates, you know, brothers from another mother. It was just, you know, same as it was back in the days, pretty much. The roles were kind of defined still. I took the leadership. I tried to call the shots, the strategies, and, you know, we had all those kind of jokes we had in the past as well. It's still here, you know. Yeah, it was just such a great experience. And of course, it kind of motivated me, or actually it made me question myself retiring a little bit, because it was just, it's this kind of part of me, you know, Richard, that I'm missing so much, the competition. I mean, we compete as a business. I see all our divisions are competing, and I love that, but it's one thing to actually engage in that yourself, you know, actually, yeah, play and win or lose. I love that. I miss that. So it was a great event. I think the fans appreciate it as well. Great indeed to see the teams, Na'Vi, Astana, NIP, to allow us to use their players as well. So a lot of credit to these people. And congrats to Na'Vi for beating us. But kind of fun though, considering we had 3 inactive players. We managed to pull off some kind of show indeed, because all of the 5 players in Na'Vi are still active players, right? And yeah, great experience. And this is going to encourage us as fnatic to do more such events as well, because man, Counter-Strike, it has so much legacy, so many stories to tell, so many cool matchup, and sure, a lot of retired players, like those historical players, the legends, if you may, they are retired, but those kind of events, it's great to grab these people back, and also I think it's great for the development of the CSGO scene, because people can kind of, I think there is somewhat of a disconnect now, and this is obviously caused by the messy period when we had CS Sort being played at the same time, CS 1.6, and this never-ending battle between the 2 respective communities now. But yeah, I think it's great show, and thanks to everybody that tuned in.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned the sort of battles between the 2 communities. I think that's pretty much dead now. I think that's like, that's actually ended. I never thought I'd see the end of it. Like, I saw a little bit.
I think it still exists. I actually think it still exists, because you go on HN3.org, for example, people are like, oh, these are saucers or whatever they write. It's not as bad as it used to be. I don't think Patrik as well, but yeah, it still it feels like the CS community is not convinced that CSGO is the future. I think it is. It has to be the future. It's our only hope to keep the CS Counter-Strike legacy going. But yeah, it's great to, you know, be proud of the history, the matchups, all the legendary teams, whatever, and we should not forget about that. That's what I'm saying pretty much, and I think they have done a better job in StarCraft with that.
Well, let's just stay on Counter-Strike for a moment. I mean, right, just to be absolutely clear and on the record, you're not going to come out of retirement, are you? I mean, are you going to stay retired, or is cArn coming back to play?
Well, not as it looks now, and you know, by every day that goes by, it's going to be much harder for me to even consider, to come back. Playing that event obviously makes me like, looking at myself in the mirror the next morning, like, I should probably play more, you know, I should engage more, compete more. But, you know, I think the motivation is still gone. Not gone, but I put more or less 13 years into CS, and it's kind of hard to keep up with the practice. Reaching an older age, at age 28, it's not too old to play, you know. I still feel I got it somehow, especially when it comes to the tactical and the gameplay and all that. Aim-wise, I'm really struggling, you know. Imagine Patrik Sättermon playing a Scream on a long-distance AK duel or whatever. I would be like not gone in 60 seconds, but gone in 60 milliseconds, I guess. the players today are just too good for me. Simple as that.
Well, what about the kind of... I mean, look, it's got to be tempting. All of the CSGO players right now are going to be looking at that DreamHack event. Yeah. Massive prize pot, the biggest that CS has seen. I mean, I believe in any version of Counter-Strike. I could be wrong about that, but I believe so.
I think there was a CPL event way back. They had 100K to the first. I could be wrong. But
yeah, and of course CPL don't pay, so
exactly. They can put whatever number they want.
But you know, it's got to be tempting. I mean, even if you entered a mixed team and finished like top 4 or whatever,
I wouldn't. Yeah. I wouldn't finish top 4. I wouldn't finish top 8. I would crash. Well, if I had the best, most amazing 4 teammates.
Yeah, you could do what Overdrive did and just like pay to get carried, like.
No offense, but that was just a joke. I think I mean, the competition of that tournament, yeah, they beat some really good teams and all that, but they wouldn't be able to repeat that. That was a one-hit wonder. But indeed, you can get away being a worse player than your teammates and get pretty deep into the tournament. But it's all about the long run. It's all about the consistency. I don't think it's fair to any teammates. But yes, I am growing bald and getting grey hair at the same time, watching my teammates play, my CSGO team play. And that's not in disrespect to them. It's just more like I see everything, and maybe I have a different vision what we should have done at that moment. I see us losing round, but obviously that's a part of being a team coach, I guess. You know, you have to live for it, and I think I do. But again, yeah, I sometimes question maybe I should be the leader, or maybe I could, and that is actually leading up to something we have suggested as well. Some teams are against this. Some of the tournament organizers are against it for logistical reasons, I think, and that is to have an active coach like you have in any other sports, I guess.
We wrote an article about this not a long time ago. I think the guy who's behind the camera, Michael, wrote it, and he was saying that, you know, he thinks the future is having that guy who like calls the strats from behind the team. I mean, is that something you think you might want to talk to tournament organisers about, maybe implement?
I already started that process, and I also reached out to a bunch of team owners slash team managers, and overall it's positive feedback regarding that. The tournament organizers, they do see the value, but they are worried about, you know, the ghosting, the guy standing behind being able to see stuff he shouldn't see. Maybe some unfair advantages for some teams, not for others. Too short notice, many excuses basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it would elevate the game. Yeah. It would lead to more amazing play, new strategies. It's just going to change so much, I think. Exactly how it will run out, how it will work, I don't really know. It's very hard to predict how an active coach can actually contribute to the game. But I do see the benefits of having one guy behind, being able to have the, I don't know what we call it, Hawkeye vision here, and you can see all the 5 monitors, you can communicate with them. Now it's very different, you know, we came to a stage where in the product development, the cups, the headset they're using, they cannot hear shit what I'm saying. So I kind of have to like knock on their shoulder, like, and I can give them strategies on the fly. It's not an efficient way of doing it, but overall it should lead to an improved Counter-Strike scene, and I think also the general, you know, the mainstream looking at this game, they will be having easier time translating it to a conventional sport, because that's what we're doing here. I'm not saying we should do everything that conventional sports are doing, but definitely a coach needs to be there, someone bystander, you know, someone that is observing, someone with more experience, and that's also, of course, you know, the life length of a professional gamer today, you kind of have to stop 26, 27 or something like that. But this would actually be a viable occupation for many retired players out there, and we would probably see a lot of these players we were talking about earlier, you know, retired players from MTW, the Poles maybe will come back as active coach. And I think, again, that would contribute to the legacy of Counter-Strike. And yeah, pushing the scene forward. But yeah, it's a lot of complications involved, and I do know a lot of teams are against it right now, because many teams, they do not have a full-time coach. They don't.
Well, another viable career choice now, if you're an old player, is, of course, to move into shoutcasting, right?
Yeah.
Now, you've got, whether you know it or not, you've actually got a big fan base. As a shoutcaster, I mean, like, everyone always says it. Like, I mean, DreamHack still haven't announced officially who's going to be there. I mean, like, we've had a few little inklings. Like, I think Tosspot's going to be the host. Yeah, I think that's happening. I think Rory done Corey done, Rory done,
Yeah.
Zuri.
Man,
Rory, where the fuck did I get that from? The beer's starting to kick in. But anyway, he's going to be so mad. He's been around for so long, I'll get his fucking name wrong. But anyway, he's like confirmed. But other than that, there hasn't been anyone confirmed. So, first question would be, everyone ruled you out because they were like, well, he's got fnatic duties. So my first question would be, will you be involved in DreamHack? Can you tell us that or whatever? And the other thing is, are we going to see you involved in shoutcasting more? Because I think there's a demand there. I think people want you to be involved in shoutcasting more.
Well, I hope I'm not ruining any announcement from DreamHack now, but I can confirm I will not be a caster. And the obvious reason is that I'm super busy with running fnatic during DreamHack. It's actually like the flagship event for us. Because we have simply having so many teams there, and we have had a huge legacy winning a lot of tournaments there. I'm not sure what I'm abusing the word legacy, but yeah, we have been successful in Jönköping, let's put it that way. Generally about myself as a shoutcaster, I do think I sit on a lot of, knowledge, probably more than many other people out there. There's probably a few among my side that would be able to compete in terms of the knowledge, but I'm not a native speaker, I don't have the radio voice. I could, however, fit in as some kind of expert analyzer, something like that. If I would do it in Swedish, I can do both. I can do both play by play and also actively show the map, explain some strategies and all that. I would like to do it more. And I guess one thing to add here as well, it actually takes it takes a decent amount of time to become a good shoutcaster. The only time you have seen me, I have never practiced it. I only done it when Faceit invited me, I done some for MSI, beat it. But I would need a lot of practice to brush up my English as well, getting the terms together. In Patrik's brain here, all the stuff I refer to in Counter-Strike, the boxes, the position, the strategies, it's in the Swedish vocabulary. That's why I can relate to. And then I try to on the fly translate it. Quite complicated. So yeah, if I put in a lot of hours into it, I would probably make a pretty decent caster, and I would love to do more casting. Time is not there right now, and my commitment to fnatic kind of holds that process. But I do think in the future you're going to see more from me, and if I have fans that appreciate my casting, thanks for that. If there's people out there that has complaints or ideas, tweet me, Facebook me, whatever, I would love to hear that.
Okay, well, let's talk about what you think about the game, right? Because I know you've got friends, I know you've got colleagues that don't like it so much. Lurpus is still...
struggling with it, yeah.
Yeah, he's still struggling with it. That's a good way of putting it. But I think there's still some people who aren't particularly big fans, of the way the game is sort of panning out. What do you think? I mean, your honest opinion now. I understand you're invested in the future of the game because you got the team, but equally, I think someone with your level of experience has earned the right to speak honestly about it. So, what do you think?
I'm happy to speak honest about it. I think it is a very good game. I'm struggling to see the innovation in it, though. I do see obviously the graphical, the visuals, they are improved, but why are we still playing Nuke? Why are we still playing Train? Why are we not mixing up the map pool? So many things could easily be improved, and it will also make the top 10 list of the teams. The medal distribution would change basically, because it's very easy for NiP to play Nuke. Get Right 4 is some of the best Nuke players on the planet basically, and they love that map. So does Exist and the rest of the teammates. But I don't see it. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we need more maps. Simple as that. And I'm a bit concerned that so far I think all the maps you're playing in CS right now, it's not Vol that has created them, but now they have stepped in and say like, okay, they have the rights to them, right? But they are not really allowing external map makers to actually add maps to the standard map pool. And I think there's been like a lot of controversy regarding that recently with the removal of the Mirage that I think 9 out of 10 professional teams would prefer to play.
NiP with a team that liked the new version.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was 9 out of 10, but I think definitely NiP was not one of the people that wanted to play the Volve Mirage, if you may. But yeah, more maps would definitely improve it, and it would make the results will fluctuate more. Other things I like the social feature having when you go into the game, you can read the latest news, you can even get the live streams. And of course, they are adding micropayments to the game. Another thing I'm not a fan of, and I'm happy to speak about that in public, some people may not like it, but I feel it's a bit unfair that Valve just steps in and help one tournament. And that kind of hurts us and our sponsors a little bit. We're running MSI Beating, we invest a lot of time, a lot of money into that, and then one tournament pops up and putting 10 times as much prize money into that. I'm still sure with MSI Beating we're going to do an awesome tournament. It's, in my opinion, the first global one. We have teams from all over the world, Complexity from America, we have a Middle East team, we have pretty much teams from everywhere, Australia included. But yeah, then they're stepping in and helping DreamHack. It's obviously a great first step, but I think they could have done it a little bit differently. I do obviously see the business purposes here behind it. They have a great relationship with DreamHack. DreamHack is a great platform to run tournaments from. They have excellent production. They have, yeah, you know, it's a great venue as well. It's like 20,000 people showing up there. These Swedes, you know, they're good people. So yeah, they could have done that a little bit differently. But yeah, going back to the gameplay, I think it's great actually. Not too many complaints. Of course, I would like to jump around like I did back in the days, but you cannot be that narrow-minded. You just believe that, okay, the way CS 1.6, that's the way forward, that's the way it should be. You always have to find a middle way. And yes, so to conclude this long statement or analysis of the game, I guess like more maps would help improving the community engagement with the tournament. I think they will, though. This is just the first step again with helping DreamHack with the prize money. They can do way more of that. Yeah, let's see what happens. More maps at least, bottom line. Yeah, more maps.
So let's talk about cArn, the manager, right? I know you've been a busy man.
The beer drinking man.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, we're in a pub, we're in the UK. If we weren't drinking beer, if we weren't drinking beer, they'd kick us out. That's how it works in the UK. Make way for paying customers. But you know, like, look, I know you've been busy. I know you've exhausted yourself. Tell us about what your day is, like what your job is. Like, what are you doing for fnatic now? How involved are you? What sort of projects do you do? And how have you adapted to that business side of esports after years of being a competitor?
Oh, many questions there, tough questions.
Just go nuts.
Right, so my title is Chief Gaming Officer, but I guess in the conventional word you would call it Chief Operational Officer, I guess, or something like COO. What I do a bunch of things. I do a lot of project managing of the stuff that we are doing alongside our partners or media, whatever. One is obviously the execution, the organizing, the planning, the sales, the reports, etc. for an event like MSI Beat It, the ASO event. But primarily, I guess my role is some kind of overall team manager. I work with a bunch of competent team managers under me that obviously worked with the games that I don't have the knowledge in. I would never go into the League of Legends team and say, okay, you should try that. You should try that the champion. You should do that move, and you shouldn't go for that dragon. I wouldn't do that. So my job is to assign the proper managers for such a job. But you know, we are probably one of the gaming teams out there that have the largest staff. We have offices in Sydney. Now we have in London. We've been here since. We have our own office now since August this year. So that's really, and we also hired a lot of new people. So things are looking really good, and I'm actually going into a more defined role. If you would have asked me the same question like 2-3 months ago, I was involved in pretty much everything from product development, sales, player managing, you know, t-shirts, designs, whatever. Now it's going to be, yeah, working more with the development of esport as well, and also, again, helping the players as much as possible. But it's a busy life in esport. It's probably, you probably see yourself working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. Yeah. And my passport is starting to struggle now. I'm running out of pages. I'm traveling so much, which is fun, but also tiring indeed. But overall, no complaints. fnatic is a lovely company to work for, and I'm hoping to do that for a very long time, because we have something special in fnatic, I think.
You're absolutely right. I was just going to say, just to add to this, I think fnatic are one of the few, like, we talk about this a lot, like real organizations, you know, like organizations that are run like a business. Like, big cheer for that statement. But like, you know, your Evil Geniuses, your Team Dignitas, Fanatics, these are the brands, you know, that are, and apologies for anyone I missed out, but, you know, these are the brands that have, one way or another, really made esports legitimate, and Fnatic have been at the forefront of that. I mean, is that like, you know, an exciting thing to be sort of a part of. I mean, as a player who represented Fnatic for so many years, I mean, you must be proud to be pushing that forward and, you know, bringing more legitimacy to esports as a whole.
Definitely. I'm so proud of what we have done with Fnatic. Just comparing our performances across titles, you know, like all titles, I think we've been more or less, with all modesty in the world, we have probably been the best performers when it comes to winning titles. We have, and not only in CS but in other games as well, including League of Legends. Not like the Koreans, though. We have to exclude them from this, I guess, and the Chinese. But yeah, I do not know too much about League of Legends. I do not know too much about StarCraft 2. But I tell you, whenever they are playing, if they're playing against an SK player or SK team, or they're playing against NIP, whatever, it's actually they are fighting the battles I've been fighting for so long. So I'm so passionate about that. I'm sitting home and screaming whenever our League of Legends team is playing. It's very hard to put words to it, but it feels something special to see younger players, you know, walking through the stages I've been walking through. It's more fangirls these days, though. Fuck, I'm kidding. But yeah, looking at them when they're playing and helping them develop and trying to help them as much as I can with hopefully some wisdoms I'm having from being a professional player for like 6-7 years. So yes, I take a lot of pride in our performance. I get very mad when we lose, and we are indeed a business, but it's actually obviously the players that defines Fnatic. That's who are our ambassadors to. It's our window to the community and the mainstream audience, you know. So we're putting a lot of effort into making our players happy, and I do think we can do so much more. We were saying earlier that we were so successful and all that, but man, we are sailing on a sea that is so unexplored, you know. This is a new industry, it's a new phenomena, if you may. It's only growing day by day, you know. Even like I'm not obviously not getting this on the camera, but just looking around there, I wouldn't expect this. Like,
I think people will have heard how fucking psyched the crowd has been, like just to watch Fnatic players playing in a bar, you know. And
this is in UK, Richard.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, not like Sweden, not like, you know, Germany, right, where you might expect it. And here's the thing, even for me, and I've been around a long time. Probably it's not as long as you. I mean, I first came into contact with sports in '98, but then I was just too cool for that, and I was at uni and partying and shit, and then I got back into it in like 2000, early 2000s, and I could never have foreseen anything like this, like an esports bar. So it's like you say, it's new territory, man. It's like,
so we're doing a lot of errors all the time, but we try to correct these, and we try to, we respect our players so much, and we try to work so close with them to ensure that we are not only at this point the team that's going to perform the best, but we're also the ambassadors. It's also the team that young aspiring gamers are looking at when they want to start and kick off their own careers. So yeah, that is something we're putting a lot of pride and also a lot of efforts into. On the business side, I think we're doing well. But yeah, being a European team to an American team is quite different for many reasons. But yeah, with the addition of several new managers and also the fact that we are a very diverse team when it comes to the support of multiple titles, I think it's very few organizations out there.
Not many can afford it.
I guess that as well, but yeah, I think we deserve it, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, we are supporting multiple titles at the same time, and that is in respect of the sport, you know, e-sport. You cannot only stick to one team. Maybe sometimes that would make sense business-wise, but we do not know on this unexplored sea what is going to be the next title, what game is going to be dead in 5 months. You never know. I mean, StarCraft 2 is a great example. I'm not saying it's dead. I love the game.
Yeah, but no, I don't think anyone saw a decline in StarCraft 2 coming.
I'm getting at, yeah, exactly. Because ourselves, I think EG, Team Liquid, everybody just went crazy, I guess is the word. Opened up team houses everywhere, signed so many players. I think we went a little bit too hyped. I think the camera is running. I'm speaking too much.
No, don't worry about it. It's all good.
Yeah. So yeah, overall, it's very hard to predict what's going into the future. It's always hard to predict the future, but even more so in esports because the trends are changing so rapidly. The digital generation, you know, the kids, the young people growing up in the 90s, they always demand more stuff all the time, and this is just an increase. It's an exponential curve, I guess. Like, you know, 5 years back, the esports giants in terms of game titles was like Quake, CS, ancient, super old school titles. Yes, League of Legends has for, like, what is it now, 2.5 years, 3 years, been the esports title to go for, but we don't really know, and that's why we feel in Fnatic we need to support multiple titles at the same time. Maybe we have to be a little bit more conservative, not going too crazy and supporting all titles, but I think we should have the kind of the golden number of 30 players at the same time, and going into the future we're focusing a lot on European players, Swedish players, German players, etc., and it seems to work out pretty good for us at this point. But yeah, fnatic is a worldwide brand, it's a worldwide team, so for now we're very European based, but we have players competing all over the place, but in the future maybe we are exploring entering more continents. We see what's happened, but as the CDO answering for all the players, I couldn't be much happier about our overall performance and lineups at this point. It's looking really good.
So I'll get on to the final question, as I've taken up enough of your time.
I'm almost getting drunk here.
Yeah, well, I know what it's like when you're tired. One beer, bang, on your back leg. Although that's not true with Swedish people, is it? No, not really. But anyway, so just a final question. Obviously, you know, fnatic, like you say, we've just been talking about how big you are, how much reach there are. You recently picked up a Battlefield 4 team, which is like a huge thing. And you know, you're probably going to spearhead that game as an esport. Like fnatic at a first high-profile pickup. But what does the future really hold? I mean, like, what can we expect from fnatic? Like, what are the big, exciting developments in the near future?
So I think the communication with fans will be a big thing, you know. Becoming more of a, like, adding more in-house resources when it comes to the ability of creating content. If that's frag videos, video blogs, improving our live stream, I think that is going to be so important. Again, we're having all these teams, but we always need to communicate and attract the audience because they deserve it. You know, this is a great prime example. You know, probably 200 people just queued up here a few hours ago before the League of Legends team arrived, and they're so amazed about it. It's our responsibility to make sure that our fans are happy. It sounds very, like, I don't know, a bit cheesy to say that, but the fans are everything for us, including the players, of course. I said that earlier, so I need to add that to that. So yeah, what we will do, I cannot reveal everything, but we have a very strong brand, we have a very big following, and I think the future of the company has a lot of exciting projects around the corner or around the horizon. I don't know exactly how far it is, but that's something I cannot explain or introduce to you now, Richard. No, I'm afraid. But
no, that's fine. I'll catch you in secret off camera. And just the last question then. Obviously, I know you're very busy. fnatic are doing all this exciting stuff. Just quickly.
When you sit with a beer, you're never busy. when you sit next to a beer, no complaints.
Are we going to see more of you in the public eye? Because obviously what you're doing, it's almost like a more backseat role. Yeah. But I think lots of people crave, you know, the old days when you were like out there all the time. Like I say, you've still got a huge fan base. So, I mean, we know we're going to see more of fnatic, but are we going to see more of you?
Well, I guess you have to live with me a few years more in esports. As long as people want to hear from me and people ask me for interview, of course, it's my responsibility, it's my duty. If I ever believed in esports, if I have any respect in what I did in the past as a player, of course, I need to be some kind of an ambassador for it, you know, and taking it forward. But exactly how that's going to be, I don't know. I mean, a lot of fans are all about League of Legends these days, you know, so we don't want to take any high spotlight away from these people. But yeah, if you come up to me at an event, I'm very happy to answer all your questions to the best effort I can at that point. Yeah.
Well, I'm always happy to talk to you, Patrik. You've earned that beer. Thanks a lot for taking the time to talk to us. To all the people out there at cArn.org, we're going to try and maybe grab a few more bits and pieces. We'll see if that's possible. If not, it has been amazing to come down here and support fnatic, who have supported us. We were invited. I mean, they're a great organisation. I've been a big fan of them for a long, long time, back since the CGS days even, when I had the joy of meeting Sam for the first time. Just, you know, an ever-present organisation. If you're not aware of who fnatic are, definitely support them. And also, if you happen to be in London and you want to get wrecked, come to Meltdown. Because if you like esports and you like drinking, like a lot of us do, I think you're going to like this place. Anyway, maybe we can grab one or more two interviews. But if we can't, it's still been a blast to be here. Stay tuned to the website, cArn.org. Thanks a lot.